Well, hello everybody. How y'all doing today? We're just getting started. Hold on, I gotta find it. Where is it? You don't see me yet? Yeah, there we go. All right. All right. Gotta be able to see what I'm doing, right? So, how is everybody today? Today is my birthday. Most of the crew who already knows who I am already knows how old I am. But one of the first things I had to do this morning when I got up was go to a doctor's appointment. So we'll stay here all day until my phone dies. Maybe we'll play some piano. Maybe we'll just kick back and talk. Maybe we'll say, "Happy birthday to me. The PETG is being delivered today. Finally, it is out for delivery." So I'll just kick back right here and just wait for people to show up. My chair's situated. Nobody knows. So how is everyone doing today? Today is a very special day for me because it's my birth. Actually, I'm just getting old. I'm half a century old almost. So it's always a good celebration. Especially when you go to the doctor because you have an appointment, which I had this morning, and he tells you that your cholesterol is 57. So that's pretty good. Everything else on the blood work was immaculate. Blood pressure was like 134 over 74, 137 over 74. I mean, I realized after sitting behind my desk for a long time doing a lot of, Fusion 360 work, doing a lot of CAD, stuff like that, that when I get outside and I start doing like the gardening and getting the tilapia farm ready or coming out into the garage and working on the turbines, for my drone projects and any other thing. As long as I'm active, then all of a sudden my muscle memory comes back from the military. If I'm moving anything heavy outside, like the ICB tote and stuff like that I was moving to get the tilapia farm set up, and then moving the greenhouse and redoing the backyard and everything like that, I start working and not being as stagnant as I was working on Fusion 360. That I end up being, I felt much better. My blood work came back like better than ever. It's just, I don't know. I feel good. I like it. I feel great. You know, and and I made it to level 49. So we do ages and levels. So that's always fun. I'm sure the crew is probably like, "Why is he doing a live stream right now?" They're probably going to get notified and go, "What the f-? It's like 11:30." But the family has plans to try and make me a cake and stuff like that. And it's just going to be a small birthday thing. But I just wanted to get online and talk to all my friends, see how you're all doing. And somebody's like left already. They're just like, oh, this guy, he's old. I will more than likely outlive everyone on the planet. And you know, nothing could be sweeter than another year. And knowing that you're not dead. So, but man, I had some experiences like, stopping by the store and everything. It's like, I know they're not, YouTube's not going to push, more than likely not going to push this stream just because of the thumbnail. My daughter made the thumbnail for me. I thought it was hilarious. So I was like, yeah, let's go for it. That looks good. Let's do it. So I kind of just wanted to talk. If anybody wants to talk or troll or whatever the hell you want to do, I'm game. So bring it. People hopping in and out, trying to see if I'm interesting. I'm watching the number. They go up, down, up, down, up, down. So that's good. They probably don't like the shirt, right? Most Americans don't like the shirt. Don't worry, I don't drive an EV. I still burn that wonderful dinosaur fuel. Because my car is a Hemi, so I have to, it's not an EV. I'm not going to get an electric vehicle. That's just the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. And it's not because I'm against, who makes them. It's mainly because they're impractical. It's like driving a cell phone with wheels. The battery's gonna die. So it's like, it's stupid. We don't have the technology yet, or it hasn't been released to the public to make an efficient electric vehicle. So, I'm not going to drive. I'm not going to drive one. I'm not going to buy one. I don't want an electric vehicle. I want the sound of the engine. I want to put some new pipes on the Hemi. I want to friggin' just roast the tires and say like, "Fuck you, environment." That's the way it needs to be. It's America. That's right. Burn that fuel. Burn that beautiful dinosaur baby oil. Come on, crew, wake up and get in here. They're all freaking out right now. They're going, he's doing a live now? It's usually like 7 p.m. It's the middle of a work week for most of you. Not for me. I am out of the Army and just living life, I enjoyed my stay in the Army. Got to travel the world and meet new people and kill them. And then, basically just experience different cultures, that kind of thing. So, yeah, numbers are going up and down. It's like 2-3 people. They'll come in, they'll be like, oh, who's this guy? But I noticed there's a lot of lives out there where people are just kind of sitting and waiting. And I actually have sort of a game plan for a live when I go on, like what I want to talk about, my projects, the drones, the anything else that I might be working on, the mycelium for the bioluminescent stuff that I'm working on, the garden, the tilapia farm, pretty much everything that I do is pretty much a hobby. Because right now I'm at that age where I'm at home, I'm on vet benefits, so I don't really have to work as much, and I'm just focusing on the hobbies and just enjoying life. That's the way it should be, right? I mean, can't afford eggs just like anybody else, right? But still, the point is, it's about living life. It's about having fun, right? And that's why I do what I do on this channel. Drones, concept drones and things like that. And I get a lot of people that go in and say, well, what good is an EDF drone? It's not practical. It's not great for FPV. And then I have to remind them that it's the playlist literally says concept drone, not practical drone, concept. So, but it ended up working out really well. I loved flying the Shrike around and just having a good time with it. And it's just a lot of fun for me to create. I want to create. I wish I had more machines to do more creation, like a CNC, but I'm blessed to have that Bambu Lab printer. And the PETG is coming in for the Dill drone. If you haven't seen that one, there's a short for that one. And that was just out of scavenged parts that I had lying around in the garage for, I think the motors are probably 10 years old. But it was just kind of sitting. So I went ahead and used it and had an old Speedy B 405 V3. So I went ahead and hooked that up. So everything's working like it's supposed to on the electronic component side. I went into Fusion and designed a drone for it. And I'm going to print it up as soon as the PETG gets here. It's out for delivery finally. And then, hey, PXD, how's it going? Thank you. Yes, I made it to almost half a century. Happy birthday to you. There's the wife. Stud muffin. That sounds so funny. Especially coming out of my mouth. Oh, man. I know you're like, I know PXD's like, why is he up right now? Why is he doing the live right now? This is so uncharacteristic. But hey, we're here. Let's just enjoy the day, right? Let's get, all I want for my birthday is for like the viewers to be really, really high. Not like high, but like the high count of viewers, right? So, yeah. Hey, how's it going? Thank you, Cookie. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yes. Holy crap, that's one of my children. Which one? What country are you from? Probably my youngest. She's changing her name all the time. It's like, I don't know. I get a message from somebody or like a reel on Instagram from a completely separate name. And I know it's got to be the same girl because she's the youngest. And she's changing it all the time. This is too funny. So I get a message from somebody and I'm like, who the heck is... Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. Cookie's the bunny. Yes. We know. The bunny with the attitude. The bunny who gets mad if you don't do exactly what you want him to do. Then he stomps around. So yes. Finally, after, and this is my luck when it comes to PETG, finally after 3 or 4 days of waiting, and apparently them having a truck problem, which you think wouldn't be a problem for Amazon because they probably sell the parts for the truck anyway, and it's probably in their warehouse. So it's going to be, the PETG will be delivered today, and then I'll do a short or a video or a live stream or whatever where we just kind of print the Dill drone live, right? That'll be fun. Not a lot. I don't think a lot of people will watch it because typically when I'm doing lives, not a lot of people jump in, and I guess it's just because I'm just, you know, I don't have enough cleavage. I guess we discussed this before. You know, most of my skin is covered, so you know, I'm not sitting on two airbags. I don't have any hanging off my chest, and there's not one at the end of my neck. So, um, like I've said before, uh, no one's gonna watch me that much on lives. They do watch. I've noticed that a lot of people watch reaction videos. So I did create a channel at one point called the Reaction Reactor, where I react to the people reacting to the the videos they're reacting to, mainly just to critique them, you know, because it's ridiculous on how it seems almost hypocritical, but still funny. I just haven't done much with that channel because I haven't found anything really worth my time. I mean, it's like to do a reaction video on. If I did a reaction video, it would be about like some of the newer like flying cars that they're toting around. Like this is, you know, well, introducing this new flying car with 7.5 foot propellers, and there's 8 of them, and you can't park anywhere. So, you know, it's like, and they're introducing it as a new technology. It's not a new technology. We've had drones forever. Just because you made one big enough so you could sit a 180-pound person in doesn't mean it's going to be practical. So, and then people look at me and go, well, EDF drones aren't practical. It's like, well, oh, who cares? Once the technology catches up and they've got this efficient power, then the EDFs are going to beat out your, you know, 8-bladed prop flying car, you know, in a heartbeat, because you'll still have your wheels, plus you can fly. That's the whole goal, right? Let me see if I can get to the rest of it. Oh, here we go. Diabetes in a can. Funny you should mention that. Because I just had my blood work done a couple of days ago, and I went and had an appointment this morning, ironically, on my birthday. And my sugar's fine. I actually have low blood sugar, so it's actually pretty good. My cholesterol was 57. HDL was a little low at 28, but that's just, nobody cares. It's not, you know, HDL. It's supposed to carry bad cholesterol back to your liver. But the doctor's like, well, we've discovered that it really doesn't do much. So, yeah, my blood work's good. It's great. I'm 49 years old today. Blood pressure was good. You know, 134 over 74, something like that. 137 over 74, something like that. And I mean, and I could outrun my 21-year-old son probably 10 times over. So, because there's a new culture out there where everyone's a gamer or you know, a YouTuber, for example. But I get out there and actually like work on the garden and the tilapia tank and everything else because, you know, I personally want to eat better. I have found as I got older that I don't want the same foods. I don't eat fast foods, and it's not because I don't like fast food like McDonald's or Burger King or whatever. I just can't afford it. Who can, right? So it's like you go in. It's like it used to be when I was younger. I could go in. I could get. This is gonna sound like an old man story. I could go in and get a hamburger for 25 cents, cheeseburger 27 cents, cup of coffee for 15 cents. And we're talking a bottomless cup of coffee. I could drink coffee all day long. And when I was 12 years old, I'm just coffee, coffee, coffee. You know. So, hey CJ, how's everything going? I'm gonna drink coffee. I am gonna drink coffee. I just wanted some of this. Actually, it's quite I'm not feeling it. You know, it's like it's got an okay flavor to it, but then it's got that eat your insides kind of flavor, aftertaste. Oh man. Anybody notice how messed up this whole new world is we're living in? It's like everyone was like, climate change, climate change, climate change. Drive an EV. And then the guy who makes the EVs goes in and does the Doge thing. And now they're like, burn the EVs. Start using gasoline powered cars again. It's amazing. It's amazing politically how their views change based on just what they don't like. I don't like you now because you took all of our money that we were circling through Hezbollah and back into our own pockets and found it, gave it. When you want to give it back to the American people? Oh my gosh, what are the Democrats going to do? That's so funny. It's the biggest hypocritical thing I've ever seen in my life. A representative had a Tesla, sold it, and then bought a freaking Ford Explorer. Like, you wouldn't, like, if you were going to be environmentally conscious, like, dude, I want to see one of these senators like, you don't want to do EVs, fine. I want to see all you freaking smug assholes driving up to Congress in little smart Fortunes, just being, because right now you're all just finding the biggest luxury vehicles that burn all the most fuel that you could possibly put into it. And you're all like, we're now against EVs because of the guy finding all of your stolen money that we had to pay our mortgages. So yeah, when it comes to the Democrats, fuck you. So yeah, it's my birthday. I get to say it. When I'm telling you, America, Democrats, when they switch up like that, it tells you all you need to know. It's like they're a little Adam Shifty, You can't trust them. You just can't. They're going to, Elon's dangerous for what's going on. And you're just pissed off because all that money you had circling back into your bank account, because we know what your salary is. So there's no way you're going into Congress and then coming out $64 million richer and not doing something a little shady. So before you start pointing fingers, you might want to look in the mirror. Especially you, Pelosi, and your stupid ass freaking goober of a son, freaking Newsom, who's just straight up fucking Magoo. It's like, California's on fire, but we got to save a fucking fish. So let's go ahead and turn off the fire hydrants. Where does this make any sense whatsoever? Everybody lost their homes. They're like, we don't know how we're going to recover. The insurance drops the coverage for fire. It's like they knew it was going to happen. You ain't getting your 15-minute small cities. It's not going to happen. Okay, this country's not going to let it happen. You're not going to shove us all into your little concrete jungles and then feed us your poison and try to friggin' make us all die off young so you can collect whatever Social Security debt that you put on us when we were born. Yeah, that's right. I'm saying it. This is a free country. It's going to remain a free country. It was a republic when it was founded. It's going to stay a republic. And if you don't like it, there's the door. So yeah, America, all the way. Fuck yeah. Well, you see how pissed off they get. They don't care about the fact that the money was, like, all the corruption that was going on with the money. They just care that we found it. Nothing could be more telling about that. I mean, you already spread your stupid bullshit woke agenda halfway across the planet. And now friggin' France is like, if you need a safe space, you can come to France. Well, fuck you, France. You're not getting the Statue of Liberty back either. We'll scrap that bitch first. All right? We will. We will scrap that bitch. And we will turn it into, you know what? Muscle cars. Yeah. That's what we'll fucking do. Send you back her pinky toe. That's all you're getting. I'm serious. Friend being like, we think you should return the Statue of Liberty. Well, we think, you know what? Just like freaking the press secretary said, if we if we didn't intervene, you'd all be speaking German right now. And for all those people that are like, we're not gonna get a Tesla, and then somebody pulls up in a Volkswagen. Do I even need to say more? Call us fascists and everything else. You're driving around with something that freaking Hitler created. I mean, give me a break, man. It's just stupid. I remember when I was younger, the world wasn't this fucking retarded. Yeah, and I'll say the fucking word retarded. I don't give a shit what YouTube says. It's called freedom of speech. It's in the Constitution. You know that thing you say that everyone's violating? So go ahead and try and censor me. And see if I don't bring a lawsuit up against you. And I'll win, too. So there you go. I'm not calling people retarded. I'm saying you're acting retarded. That's the whole point. So if you don't like it, I don't care. You can run into a woman in a store one of these days. And, you know, in the past, because I have to deal with this shit all the time with this woke BS. You can see them coming a half mile away with the freaking, the way they're dressed and everything, and the freaking buttons and the freaking free Palestine. First off, fuck Palestine. And the Gaza Strip needs to be a freaking Trump's new resort hotels, and that's what we need. That'll bring peace to the Middle East because they'll all be gambling their freaking money away. I see somebody blocking a freeway like that again, I'm just gonna drive right on through. Be like, oh shit, look at all those people bumping off, flying up off my Chrysler. Shouldn't have been in the middle of the road. Didn't your parents ever teach you not to play in the middle of the street? Fucking dumbasses. And somebody introduces themselves to me and say, my name is this, my pronouns are, and I'm like, stop right fucking there. I didn't come up to you and say, my name's Roger, I have a dick and a pair of smooth criminals down under. I said my name, okay? My name, that was it. I don't give a shit if you identify as a desk lamp. I don't care if you think you're something else. This isn't pretend. Go watch Snow White, you know, who is now played by Denzel Washington. You know, it's like, what the fuck, Disney? You're screwing up all the kids. I mean, I swear to God, this country's gone down fucking hill when it comes to morality. Downhill. You're like, oh, Trump's this, Trump's a fascist, Trump's... It's like, okay, fine. You want people to keep stealing your money? And giving it to terrorist organizations? And Biden pulled out of Afghanistan, killed American soldiers doing it, and left enough munitions there to start another war. And you guys act like he was our savior. No, he wasn't. He didn't even know where the fuck he was. The whole fucking time. The man can't even get gravity right. He fell up the fucking stairs. And everybody is like, oh, he was the bit ready. And Pelosi freaking, I swear to God, she was like, oh my God. It's like she was so enamored with Joe Biden. We love him so much. You know, the only reason why she said all that shit was because she knew that he wasn't running the country. All he had to do was sign off on shit that they wanted. He was like, he could have been signing a freaking check. He probably thought it was a check to his kid for $25 for his birthday. And it was a fucking order that Pelosi wanted. I mean, the guy was just, I feel bad for what they did to him. And at the same time, when he was younger, he was a creep anyway. And who the fuck goes and sniffs kids? You know? What are you, a Labrador? You know, quit sniffing people. Even the freaking little kids knew when he would lean in. They were like, no, fuck that shit. Back up. Stay in your lane, Diddy. I mean, come on. You know, Diddy's probably watching me from prison right now. I'm going, KBD, get him. You know, fuck that shit. I'll tell you, I don't care what. Censor the shit out of me. I don't care. Censor. Go ahead and censor. And I will take. I'll take it to the Supreme fucking Court. I'll fucking own YouTube by the end of the month. Next month. That's a week till the end of March. I mean, yeah. Are we in March? What year is it? Oh yeah, never mind. 2 months, 3 months tops. I'll own this shit. Go ahead and censor me. Censor me one fucking time. I'll own this shit. When I show up on your front lawn and my drone, and then just land there and get off. Come on, bitches. You watch it. I mean, look at how people flipped. Look what Zuckerberg did. He was like, I'm against this, I'm against that with Trump. Then Trump runs the presidency. He's all, hey, Trump, you're my best friend. Shit. Nobody's got their own core values anymore. Fucking ridiculous. You're going to get one. EJ, I'm telling you, we're going to have a personal flight. It's serious. You're going to be able to get in. It's like, see, it's going to be like in the future, a little bit farther in the future. It's going to pull up to your house and, Mr. Baker, would you like to enter the vehicle, please? You get in, you sit down, you're like, okay, I'm going to Trump Tower. He's interested in my coffee. And then the drone will take you there, and then the robotic butler will get out and open the door for you. Roll out the red carpet, you know, everyone. The media will be there. CJ, coffee, bitter coffee for bitter people. You know, that's what it's going to be right there. And it's going to be in one of my drones. Oh, man. Yeah, anyone who might be new, look at the viewers I have. They're like 6. Nobody wants to hear the truth. Nobody. And I don't know how accurate this is realistically, because it isn't. Because it's, with as smart as technology has become, they can't seem to do math. So that's YouTube for you. They're censoring me right now. Watch. People, and a lot of people will leave. They'll leave because I'm ranting about stuff. And you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, I don't give a shit. If I hit one of your nerves, that's all I need right there. If you left angry because of something I said, it tugs at the heartstrings. It really does. It really does. Because you need to put down the bottle, get off the tit, and start being a fucking adult. Because today is my birthday and I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want. Oh, yeah. It's just the way it is, people. So how's your days going? How is everything out there? I know that you're probably, most people are working or at work, and that's probably why I don't have a lot of viewers, or in fact people just don't freaking like me, because I'm going to speak the truth. You know, I'm not going to Joe Rogan this shit. Okay, that's all there is to it. I'm going to also tell you something else. And I know he gets into the conspiracies, and he's like this and that, but then what happens? It's like he's pushing a brand, right? I'm not saying anything bad about it, but he's pushing a brand, you know, to make money. And if I make money off this deal, doing this, then I do. If I don't, I don't. I'm still going to keep doing what I'm doing. You know, that's all there is to it. I'm not going to sell out to anybody. I had a sponsor come up to me and tell me that, oh, we like the way your channel's going. looks like it's really cool. We'd love to sponsor you. And it was a manufacturing website. I'm not going to give their name because I don't want to, give them any bad press. I think they're doing pretty well on their own. And they're like, well, if you mention us, we'll give you $40. I'm like, $40 for a 60-second short of mentioning, how you can buy their product. Like you don't fucking know how to use the internet or something. And it was from China anyway. So China, fuck you. I'm not a fucking whore for you. I ain't taking no $40. You offer me $4 million, I wouldn't fucking take it. Because you're China. We're gonna start making our shit here. Your continent could sink under the fucking Pacific Ocean and I wouldn't give a shit. That's all there is to it. Tell me, I'll give you $40. Anything else I'd have to talk to my supervisor about. Fuck off. I'm worth hell of a lot more than that shit. $40 fucking dollars. Why don't you just send me a dozen eggs? Fucking pricks. Yeah, it all goes back to China. Fuck China. I hope that you ain't ever gonna see that next generation fighter coming. President Xi. Fuck you. North Korea. Fuck you. You got a problem with us? We got enough nukes to turn you all into fucking glass. So bring it the fuck on. We just sent another fucking aircraft carrier out there. Fuck around and find out. This is America. We will fuck you up. And Canada fucking complaining. We don't want to be part of the United States. Well, fine. Continue to be a boring fucking place. We don't care. We want to pay extraordinary taxes. Fucking Trudeau running around in blackface. You're acting like he's your fucking savior. Shit, that cold's got to your brains. Uh. 40-year-old enlisting? Rock going Air Force? Viewers down to 4. That pissed off some people. Well, down to 2. How many people that pissed off already? Yeah. That's right. Go for it, YouTube. Censor me. Censor me, you fucking Nazi pricks. I don't give a shit. Ain't enough truth in this world. Everybody likes to sugarcoat shit. Sell like a Twinkie. Ain't enough people out here speaking the real truth. I saw a reel that was kind of eye-opening. When Kennedy was assassinated, it was on national television. And you know what else was funny? The only time CNN ever televised one of Trump's rallies was the day in Pennsylvania when somebody tried to take him out. That tells you all you need to know about our government. I'm talking about the government underneath the government, where all that stolen money went, and that's why they're pissed. So CIA, FBI, whatever you fucking people want to do, bring it. Go right ahead. I already know you're fucking in the chat. You can go fuck yourselves too. How you doing, Jason? How's it going? Welcome to the chat. We're just ranting about every damn thing. It's my birthday today, so I felt it necessary to let the world know how I felt about how it's being run. Oh, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. See, you know, that's the kind of thing right there. Common courtesy. Just like, yeah, happy birthday, man. I was like, yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate you being here. I do. I do. Look at that. The viewers, I think it's down to 4 on my end, it looks like. Yeah, YouTube's getting pissed at me. Because I'm telling them how it is. Mainly because if I was doing a live and I was a chick and had on a tight shirt, I'd have like 30,000 people watching right now. So YouTube is in the practice of extorting women. And then they freaking say, oh, our policies and guidelines. Don't give me that shit. You don't give a damn about your policies and guidelines unless they fall in line with your political views. But as long as there's somebody wearing just enough clothing to get enough views so you can get that ad revenue out, you just fucking suck it in like a fucking bass looking for a lure. I'm telling you, you know what, YouTube? You are pathetic. That's what you are. You're pathetic. You're censoring. You're pathetic. You don't give a shit about real content. You like to show stories on there, let people post videos about what Diddy did, and all you're doing is doing the same damn thing digitally. That's it. That's all you're doing. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Go ahead, YouTube. Prove me fucking wrong right now. No, they don't care about what I have to say about it. Of course they don't. Digital ditties, that's it. That's all YouTube is. They're not going to ever fucking monetize me, no matter how hard I try. What am I bringing to you guys? What have I always brought to you guys? Like really cool, innovative stuff. Fun stuff to watch. The Turbine, the Shrike Drone, the Javelin, the new Dill Drone that I'm doing today. I mean, come on. That's some fun shit, right? But no, somebody wants to sit there and watch fucking Sniper Wolf and fucking a shirt that's 3 sizes too small react to a video you've already seen on the damn fucking internet. You've already seen the video she is reacting to. The only reason why you're watching is to watch her. That's the shit I'm talking about. YouTube's banking off of the freaking sickness of men out there who all they want to do is see young girls on fucking... It's exploitation. It's like soft porn. Fucking YouTube just goes ahead and says, yeah, we'll go for it. We're getting a lot of money off of it. I'll fucking shut you down, YouTube. Bring it to Congress and show them what you're doing. If not, I know a couple black hats will take care of it. So don't fucking censor me. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate you stopping by. I am having a good day. Watch as the viewers drop. As they say, don't push him. The algorithm's like, don't push him. Don't push him. Don't push him. He said the F word, but it's okay for somebody to identify as a fucking plant. Hypocritical motherfuckers. I'll tell you what. I'm dropping a lot of F-bombs today, and I apologize to that if that offends anyone. But I actually don't apologize because it's how I feel. And we have freedom of speech in this country. That's the First Amendment. And the Second Amendment was to make sure that you couldn't tell us we had to stop. So there you go. You don't like what we're saying? You don't like what I'm saying? Well, I hope you like coffee because your tea's going in the ocean again. Oh man, I'm telling you. It's just this the way they run stuff nowadays is pathetic. It is pathetic. No values. No values whatsoever. John F. Kennedy, you killed your own president. The government killed its own president. Why? Because of his political views. They killed their own president. And then they tried to do it again. And ironically, like I said, it was the only one that CNN aired live. I wonder if they knew something might happen. Give me a fucking break, man. They set that shit up. They didn't get him the first time, tried to get him the second time on the golf course. God knows how many other times they missed before that and after that. But I can tell you right now, you take out this, if you try to take out our leader right now, you're going to start a civil war. And all you people in your safe spaces ain't going to be safe enough. I guarantee it. You're fucking with the wrong side of the country. I'm telling you that right now. And if you don't like it, that's too fucking bad. This is America. It's going to stay free. It's going to stay uncensored. And we're going to stay with our moral values. Our moral values. The ones that you don't like. The ones that tell you you can't freaking go out and kill a baby before it's born because it's an inconvenience to you. If you didn't want it to be an inconvenience in the first place, you should have kept your fucking knees sewed together. Take responsibility for your fucking actions. That's what you need to do. I swear. You know, the human drive to procreate is there for a reason. It's to perpetuate the species. Not for you to freaking go out and hold up a flag and say, my body, my choice. It wasn't your choice after you became pregnant. Now it's your responsibility to nurture that child. Bring it into the world. Teach it good values. You're the one that made it. You made it with somebody else. You chose to have it. And if you didn't choose to get pregnant, you just wanted to have sex, well, I'm sorry, but that biologically, that's not how we're designed. That's the conscious part of your mind saying, I want that desire, but I don't want the responsibility. That doesn't make any sense. But none of you will ever learn, for the most part. You can't talk sense into them. Because what happens? What happens when you have to face somebody and have that conversation? It's irate. They're yelling at you, calling you a Nazi and everything else. You're calling us fascists. You're calling us Nazis because we don't want to kill your child? And we don't want you to kill your child? You might as well have fucking been born in Germany. You might as well be Hitler's grand fucking daughter if you're going to go out and get pregnant and then say, this is an inconvenience, I'm just going to get rid of it. Because it's no different than what Hitler did. No different. They were an inconvenience. You thought you were superior to it. So you decided to go ahead and gas it. That's pretty much what you did. So if you're going out there friggin' getting rid of, aborting children because they're an inconvenience to you, then you're no better than Hitler. And if you don't like that, if that offends people, sit and spin. I have no idea who that is. Who? Mike? Who? I agree with that, Rossellas, but that's not even the point. The whole point of the drive of sexual attraction to a mate, and now social media and of course everything else has screwed that up, because it used to be about genetics, about who's attracted to who, pheromones, things like that. Now they're using colognes and everything else, and everybody's freaking getting together because they're getting the wrong signals because of all these stupid freaking pheromones and colognes and social status, and then you wonder why you have a kid with fucking Down syndrome. Now what they need to do is just, what's the difference, man? Just abstain, or don't have, or if the lady doesn't want, wants to have sex, then like you said, take those precautions. Take the precautions not to get pregnant. And then, you know what? You don't have to be a murderer afterwards. Because that's what you are. Oh no, I don't care how many different names you put on it. Okay? It doesn't change what you're doing. You're saying it's like it's morally okay because it's not a human. But you crush a freaking bald eagle's egg and you go to fucking prison. Well, make up your mind. It's all about what fits your narrative. That's all it is. That's all it is. And that narrative is you don't want to be responsible for the actions you take because of your own personal desires. Bottom line. And you say you don't need men. Most of the freaking lesbian couples, I don't need men to have a baby. I don't care if you have an applicator that looks like Jodie Foster's fucking knuckles. That is still man batter in there. And don't tell me you don't need men. You ain't having a baby without a man. Bottom line. And God forbid you do if you're freaking playing that. I'm a man. I was a man trapped in a woman's body. Shit, we all were at one point. And then we were born. You're gonna fuck that kid up. You freaking bring a kid into the world and make him think that the norm is freaking two women being married. This is my mom, this is my mom, dad. I mean, come on, man. You don't want them to be mentally unstable after that? They're gonna be so fucking confused by the time they get old enough to think for themselves, they're not even gonna know what to do. That's abuse. You should be ashamed of yourself. That's what it is. It's abuse. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I didn't have parents growing up in the traditional sense. Dad wasn't around. Mom was disabled. I was raised by my grandmother. She really wasn't, the type that, I don't know what it was with our family. They never said, "I love you," gave you hugs, that kind of stuff. But that didn't affect me growing up. I still, I got married. I have children. I love my children. I told them I love them. I showed them I love them. I show my wife I love her. And I don't see how hard it was for my parents. Well, the one parent I did have to actually do that. But I know she loved me. Just because, well, I'm still alive. She fed me. That's all I can chalk it up to. I survived my childhood. I might as well fucking use it, right? And we're Gen X, okay? We're Gen X. So all these new generations, I feel sorry for you. I do. I mean, we didn't have what you have now, okay? And everyone likes to try and disprove you. Like, well, it says on the internet or Wikipedia. It's like, bitch, I knew when that shit didn't even exist, okay? You ever heard of a console television? Yeah? No? I didn't think so. This is part of our childhood right here. And half of the youngsters that won't even know what this is, except for the movie The Grudge. Or not The Grudge, The Rain. That was a good movie. And again, finding this on my attic kind of freaked me out. But we're going to find out if if some grudgy looking little girl comes crawling out of the TV, it'll be interesting. Yeah, VHS, man. And you always were like freaking like you put the tape in and scratchy and stuff like that, and you're like adjusting the tracking, trying to get a clear picture. And when that shit went bad, it went bad. There was just no way to fix them. There wasn't. It's like whoever designed the VCR just decided, let's make this shit so difficult that if one piece goes wrong, it never works again. But yeah. And then it shocked me when I was, years back when they were like, the moon landing never happened. And I'm like, you're kidding, right? Or the flat earthers. How does your GPS work on a flat earth? You want to explain that one? Yeah. We're underneath a dome. No, we're not. And the only dome that might be up there is the atmosphere. And you could call it a dome, but it's not a dome, it's a freaking sphere. And they're like, you say we're spinning at 60-something thousand miles an hour. Why isn't anything falling off? We all know if the earth was flat, cats would have knocked everything off of it by now. So that right there proves it. Smoked like the motors. Yeah. Oh my gosh. The whole flat earth thing just friggin'. It's the funniest damn thing in the world. Because we all saw the Netflix series where they proved that they were wrong. And then everyone's just. You ever notice how when people are so inherently programmed to just not be wrong in their own minds, that even when proof is set right in front of them, they're like, no, we must have made a mistake. It's like, bitch, you made the test. If you messed it up, that's on you. But you proved the earth was round. And then everyone's still on this kick. And you got some of these guys that are they got these channels where they got these weird fucking hieroglyphs written out on a fucking whiteboard or some paper or something like this. And it's an Australian guy, I think. Because I watch one of the channels I watch sometimes is Simon Dan. Not because I believe in him, because he believes strictly in science and doesn't believe that there's a God and so on and so forth. But he's against the flat earth model, which I agree with. So we have that in common. But there's some, I think his name is Santos. He has a channel where he talks about flat earth. He's got this whole thing. He's talking about when Mercury is in this and that and the other. He's not making any sense whatsoever. He's jumping back and forth from one point to the other, making completely incohesive sentences and no point whatsoever. None. Water finds its level. Well, it's called gravity, bitch. Of course it does. But it's on a globe. That's creating gravity. That's making gravity by its own mass. Of course everything's stuck to it, including the atmosphere and you. That's why you don't feel us spinning at whatever speed we're spinning at. Because we're all within the same gravitational well. How hard is that to believe? I mean, are you going to... If you have a sink full of water and it's spinning, and the ant is spinning with the water, are you going to tell him he's not actually spinning towards the drain? And he's just... and it's all a lie? Because or are you trying to convince him of that all the way till he gets to the point where he's gone? Down the drain? I mean, come on, man. It's like, you don't believe in gravity, then go up into a plane and jump the fuck out of it. Tell me how that works out for you. Flat Earth never made sense, Rosell. It's the dumbest fucking shit I ever heard of in my life. The dumbest. I'm telling you. The dumbest shit I have ever heard in my life. Flat Earth. When I first heard that, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was somebody joking around. And then I realized they were serious. And I was like, you're serious? You really believe this? Okay, but you're GPSing your way to get to the store. How does that work? How does that work for you? On flat Earth. Oh, are the satellites circling around us inside of our atmosphere just like the sun? Like you say, and the moon and everything? Oh, give me a break, man. You know how big the sun is? Where's the Parker Solar Probe right now if the sun is in our atmosphere? Can't answer that question, can you? And then they say, oh, NASA's just, that everybody in space is all fake. We see the wires and blah, 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 blah. I mean, come on. What's the International Space Station? I mean, you've seen a Falcon 9 launch, and still to this day, even everybody who knows about SpaceX sees a Falcon 9 launch and what happens when they release that first stage and the booster goes back and you can see the swirling of the plasma as it's going into orbit, and they're like, what is that? What is that? Is that a UFO? No, it's not a fucking UFO. It's a Falcon 9. And still nobody can... I mean, what the hell? Good Lord. It's like, you guys watch enough social media. You should know what a damn rocket is. Yes. Spider. See, I came on early enough so you could be here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm almost half a century old. I know I know Spider was probably surprised. He was like, "You doing live right now?" Hey Jason, how's it going? The rest of the live is too boring. Solid dome for a head. Yeah, I bet you were surprised. Because I figured, it's my birthday. I'm going to go ahead and go on early. Spider never gets to jump in to the lives because of the time difference. So I'm like, it's my gift to Spider on my birthday. He actually gets to see it live. The F-47. Yes, I did. And I can't wait till Iran gets a chance to hear about it either. Or two. I want them to see it. Actually, I don't want them to see it. They ain't gonna see it coming. We sent another carrier fleet out there because of Hezbollah. They keep fucking around like, oh, we're not scared of the U.S. Well, you ain't gonna be scared. You ain't gonna be so brave for very long. I'll tell you that right now. And if all these other countries keep messing around, it's going to be sunrise at 3 a.m. Yeah, you don't like Boeing. How come you don't like Boeing? I mean, Starliner is a good reason not to like Boeing. Yeah, see, China's afraid to show it because what they're doing is trying to engineer their stuff out of our stuff. And then they don't want to show it. They're like, we've got this new thing. It's secretive. We're not going to show anyone. And realistically, it's because they don't know if the shit's going to work right in the first place. Because the only thing that ever came out of China that lasted more than 3 months was COVID. And that tells me it was made here in America. Thank you, Angel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, COVID was a bunch of bullshit. I didn't get one shot. I didn't get nothing. I got like maybe one flu in the past 5, 6 years. I haven't been sick since. And you know, there's still people walking around with masks on around here. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? You know, you got your mask on, and then you get up to the register and you take it off so you can talk to the checker. That's so stupid. Oh man. Well, F-35, I don't think it was really meant for dogfighting. F-22, maybe. F-15, yeah. My favorite plane, the Tomcat. That's what my favorite plane was. Tomcat was the best at dogfighting, I think. I mean, I like the maneuverability of the F-22, but you know, some of the maneuvering that it can do. But with some of its extreme maneuvering, it's literally stationary for a few seconds, which is never good in a dogfight. Yeah, I mean, that's not the purpose of a stealth jet, really. Stealth jet's just to basically get in there and drop a bomb and get the hell out. But this new jet, you know, this new jet that's coming out is going to be accompanied by drones, and that's how it's going to operate. So I think that's good. In a sense, we can't really make everything about drones, because once you start taking, once it's robots fighting robots, and you've taken, you know, the human cost out of it, then war just becomes a game that's political. So, I'm sorry, there has to be consequences for actions. Japan found out, right? Yeah, that's exactly right. That's a very good statement. That's a very good statement. The less humans in war, the less humane it gets. And that's a very, very good example right there. Thank you, Spider, for that. Jason, what flag is that? My screens aren't getting any bigger, and my eyes aren't getting any better. Is that the... Oh, Japan, yeah. Okay, I can see it now. Partially colorblind and have used bifocals. And of course they make this... Remember when we used to do stuff on paper, like in the olden days? But, fucking 8 viewers. I think I pissed off half the internet this morning. Oh, yeah. You know, we're allied with Japan now, but, I mean, it's like, there's a reason for that. You know, it's because they attacked us, trying to pull us into the war. We're like, fine, you want to go into the war? We're going into the war. That one reel, though, I thought was pretty cold-blooded. It was funny, though. I do RC planes, I do RC drones, I do everything. I'm currently working on some experimental stuff. Specifically a large-scale 170 millimeter turbine, electric turbine engine for drones and planes. So it's sort of a versatile system, and I'll show it in a little bit so you can take a look at it. The machine behind me is it's an MP CNC that I basically 3D printed a CNC machine, and then a friend of mine added some accents to it you know, the steel around it and the table and stuff like that. That's a 3-axis CNC. And I'm going to use it to actually do the molds and stuff that I need for doing the fiberglass bodywork for the plane that I'm building, because I'm going to be doing an SR-72 Dark Star model that I'm going to be running 2 of the 170 millimeter turbines in. So yes, I'm retired. Army. And so basically what I'm doing is, and you know, on those benefits, you know, that I'm basically not making much of anything at all. So I have to kind of build what I have. If I need a machine, I got to build it. I really want a Pocket NC CNC machine, because I want to CNC the next turbine blades, because I've actually designed the hub and the blades separately on this one, so I don't have to 3D print them in a full blade. The X1 Carbon that I'm using, I can print the whole blade. Let me grab one here to show you. I got one on a wall. Here's an example of it. And it's just a 22 blade high pass. This is all printed in one piece. But I designed this, I actually redesigned this to as a hub, a separate hub in the center, and each blade can slide in into the slots, so that I can make it an 11 blade, I can make it a 22 blade, I can make it, you know, I can reconfigure the blades to get the most efficiency that I can out of the diameter of the blade. So that so the next set of experiments is going to be, I'm going to print it probably in PETG, the hub and the blades separately, and I'm going to go with different blade configurations. I'm going to go with a 10 blade, and I'll keep dividing it until I get the right RPMs for the right motor and get the right amount of thrust that I want, and kind of optimize the whole system. But when I'm running a full 22 blade system, I'm running a 4-to-1 gear ratio planetary gearbox to drive it, with a low kV motor that has a high torque, so that I can get this blade up to about 30,000 RPMs. Not the PLA blade, because I had experience with that one exploding on me. But yeah, I mean, it worked out. It's working out pretty good. A lot of testing to do, but it's working good. Actually, I can show you one of the main test ones that I did. Let me bring it over here. This isn't the full engine. Well, it's almost the full engine. So basically, I have a skateboard motor, really, that I use. It was a 6374 190 kilovolt Lipsky motor that runs through a 4-to-1 planetary gear ratio. And I have this on the front because it was easier to test it this way, because I had ductwork on the actual test platform that's on the stand over there. And what this does is basically allows me to take the motor, put it through here. It has an 8mm shaft. It indexes, and here, I can't see. Come on, there we go. Right into place. The motor goes in, then I tighten the set screws, and then you've got your fan. And this is a PETG fan that I've run several times at high RPMs that has not yet exploded. So PETG is probably my best bet for these fans. So, and then on the back, the reason why this is here is because I had designed it a bit differently on the next version, which is this one. I'll bring it over because I have it sort of put together right now, but I've taken it out of its ductwork So this one is basically the same thing. So I'm not gonna hammer this down in there because it's hard to get off of there. But this bolts down to the stator casing, and then it's driven by this 4-to-1 planetary gear ratio box here. This collet right here, this metal collet in the center, will basically, with these indexed screws here, grab the shaft of the motor, giggity, and then the motor will sit up here, and then I'll have some supports going out here with some airflow rectification. So, but basically, yeah, that's what we're dealing with. 4-to-1 planetary gear, and a little bit different design on this gearbox. I want to CNC this thing out of some aircraft grade aluminum, get the whole thing done that way, and then mount the motor in. This will go into the ductwork. I can bring the top half in, but the bottom half of the ductwork is mounted to the rack. So for testing, it goes right in here, and then you can kind of see how the system works, and you get that 4-to-1 gear ratio action. And then the other part of the ducting is over there for testing. But I'm using 4 of these motors to build a drone, the Shrike XL. And the actual first Shrike concept drone is in a playlist you can go look at in my playlist on my channel page, where I was experimenting with EDF engines being the primary engines for a drone, and that worked out really well. And when this one's finished and I try out that new 7070 60 horsepower motor, that's 48 volts running off of a 150 amp 48 volt ESC, that's 2 to 12S or 5 to 12S, and it runs the motor at 100, we'll say it's 110, but we'll say 100 to be conservative. So 48 volts times 100 is 4,800 RPMs times 4, and it gives you close to 30,000 RPMs. So that's what we're looking at. And with a 22 blade fan, you really don't need much more than that, and you get about 55 pounds of thrust, or 0.665 kilograms per second of airflow. That's the mass airflow. And it's pretty efficient, actually, because when I run this thing at an idle, I noticed with the 6374 motor, I ran it at idle speed, about half throttle, and I was only pulling 11.5 amps. 11.5 amps, which is phenomenal. Now the amps did increase with the resistance on the fan, and the torque needed to spin it even faster, but it never went above 115 amps on the 6374. And that was a 48 volt motor. So what I decided to do was switch to a 7070 Flip Sky motor, which is rated for 75 volts and gives me 60 horsepower. But since I'm only going to be pushing 48, I don't have to worry about overtaxing the engine or the ESC. And that'll give me the horsepower and the speed necessary. So when I get that motor here, it's going to take me a minute because it's like 110 bucks. That might not seem like a lot to most people, but to me, it is, because again, I'm on vet benefits. So 110 bucks is a lot. I still got to smog my car. I didn't have to pay for registration though. I'm getting my veteran plates finally. Yeah. You know, me just coughing up 110 bucks, I gotta wait, you know. Or all of you could go to my Buy Me a Coffee link, buy me a bunch of coffees, and then I'll transfer that to my account. I'll order the motor, and then we'll get going again. But today, I have the PETG coming so that we can do the other project I'm working on, which if you go through the shorts and look for it, you'll find it. It's the Dill drone. It's the funniest looking drone in the world, and appropriately named. These parts I had laying around in the garage, so I kind of did an amalgamation of these 4100 kV motors and the SpeedyBee F405V3. I had another capacitor laying around finally. I bought a pack of the 35 volt 1000 microfarad capacitors because on the drone side, when I was trying to use just this controller here to run the EDFs, it was too much for the capacitor because of the amp draw. So what I did is I switched to a SpeedyBee F405 wing for that. And then what I did was I ran it through a power distribution board from APD, which they don't sell anymore to hobbyists and enthusiasts because they went commercial. So yeah, smart move. Cut out an entire revenue stream. And it was a 500X, if anyone remembers the APD 500X. So I'm gonna have to design my own power distribution board if I want something smaller that can handle up to 500 amps. But the next strike drone that I do out of EDFs is going to more than likely be 90 millimeter instead of 70, which means it's going to drop the KV and that's going to drop the amp draw. So, can I fly this one? Is that what you're asking? This one isn't for flying. It was for testing because this was all just sitting in my. I think I got this at a garage sale, or my brother did, because he brought it to me. The point is, it's been here at least 5 or 6 years, if not more. And I just kind of put everything together to test it because all of this is going into the 3D printed Dill drone. There's a short you can find. It's called it's red, white, and blue. You can't miss it, and it resembles something fairly familiar. So you should be able to figure out which video it is solely by the name. So this was all just a test platform. So I've got a Radio Master. I think it's the EVP3 or something like that. 2.4 gigahertz. I've got a TX16S to run it. Everything's already bound and worked and boots up, and I went through iNav and checked everything. I may have to adjust PIDs and gains as I get the components transferred over to the 3D printed model that this is going into. And then we're just going to make ourselves a little high-speed prop drone just for fun, right? I mean, the stuff was just laying around in here, so I figured why not. It had a disconnected motor wire here, so I went in and resoldered that back together, and that's all fixed. And everything works good on the flight controller, and the battery is going to be a 14.8 volt, so it's going to run 4S. And they're tiny little motors, man, but they've got some torque. They put out the power, so this is gonna be a fun drone to fly, especially when it goes into the new body. So, and 90 millimeters is gonna be what I do next. Now, if you look at the Shrike drone concept drone playlist, and you see the V10 Maiden, that's the one where I had basically tested it out in the field for the first time, and that particular version, and it went really, really well for a 70 millimeter version. But the 90 is where it's going to be at, because I'm going to do another one, and I'm going to do it 90, and that one's it's going to help because it's going to draw less amps than the 70s. So, you know, lower KV, lower amps, so on and so forth. And that's what I'm going for, because the V10 version ran off of a 6,000 milliamp 100C 22.2 volt pack, and it carried that plus all the printed material, which I made the drone out of, and it flew for a good 4 to 5 minutes. You know, just doing some conservative flying. I didn't take it out of angle mode because I'm not an acro pilot. What I am trying to do is get Liftoff, which is a cool app, I guess you can get on Steam, and my TX16S, if you plug that in, it'll act as a joystick, and I can learn how to do some acro flying, because I am not an acro pilot. So angle mode is my friend, and that's what keeps most, especially when you're doing experimental stuff, you really don't want to go like yeah, I know how to fly acro. And then you're going with a completely experimental setup, and you're like, it doesn't matter if you know how to fly acro. If you don't know how that your equipment's going to run, then you're just going to slam the thing into the ground. So we're going to take it easy at first on initial liftoff, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to punch it and see if we can't, well, get that dill drone up in there to the sky. So yeah, that's the plan. So this was more or less just a test platform where I kind of just set everything on this frame, half a frame I had laying around, and tested all the components to make sure everything was working properly. Now that everything is working properly, I can get everything into the new body, and then once it's finished printing, and then we'll go from there. And I'll probably end up streaming the print because it's going to be red, white, and blue. It's going to be beautiful. And ironically, this is actually an 80 millimeter clearance that I need for this. And these props are mounted in the drone, but they're slightly ducted. So that's going to help. And they're ducted because obviously the dill drone looks like it sounds. And then the ELRS antenna has the antennas coming out of the top. Then the ELRS antennas will be squirting out the top of the drone. And then the battery pack will be sitting vertically above the flight controller right here. So it's going to be a very funny thing to see when it takes off. My P-51, I you know, when it comes to the small warbirds, they're really finicky. I don't like flying stuff that's 800 millimeters and lower. I don't think that it's more of a cruising thing. You're going slow and you kind of have to take that into consideration. It never really flew right. It never did. And then I started having some weird reactions with the ailerons, because I had to switch out a servo, but I had a limited throw servo and a 360 degree servo. So no matter what I tried to do, they literally would both go the same direction every time. So I had to physically flip the other one, and the whole thing was lost. No matter how much weight I put in the nose, it was still flapping its tail like it was tail heavy. It just would not CG. And then once I would get to a certain point, I'd have no aileron control whatsoever. It was just a mess. No, but I'll tell you what plane I do want. I'll tell you what plane I want. I want that 3,000 millimeter FMS Fox. That is the biggest, baddest power glider I think I've ever seen. And I want that thing. And I know I'm going to have to get a better transmitter. I do have a FlySky radio, but I don't want to trust that. I'm thinking more of a Spectrum DX8 to run it, so I can have, I can use the flaps and everything on it. Because I'm good with big planes. I can fly big planes. I can even fly sort of mid-size 800 millimeter to 1,000 millimeter planes. But that was all nitro stuff, But the Super Sky Surfer was one of my favorite, and that was, I think, 22 or 2,500 millimeters, somewhere around there. It's a little bit smaller than the Fox, but I would really love that Fox. I hope Amazon gets here soon. I want my damn filament. Yeah, it's about $500 for that FMS. I just don't have that kind of extra cash laying around, But I have enough subscribers to where if they all bought me a coffee on my link, on my bio, through the Buy Me a Coffee link, then I could probably get one. Hint, hint. I also have a link there for some of the best coffee I think I've ever had, called Bitter Coffee for Bitter People. It's from CJ the Baker, who is a subscriber of mine, and I'm going to show it to you. he also sent me a cup, which I haven't received yet, and I can't wait to get. This is it right here. You go to Breakfast in Bread. Breakfast, letter N, bread, .store. Use DCP10. You get a discount. You get some good coffee. This stuff right here is the Caramel Baker's chocolate right here. It's almost the darkest roast level. It's some good coffee, and it is bitter coffee for bitter people. And if I haven't demonstrated the bitter part of my life right now, I don't know what else to tell you. I could rant some more if it helps. But I love this stuff. This is some great coffee. But yes, go to that website. There's a link in my bio for that too. You can get a discount on this coffee right now. He's got merch too. He's got shirts, he's got cups. He's got some other great stuff. There's a lot of stuff on that site. If you're into breakfast, if you're into coffee, come on. This is it right here. Do this man a solid. He's working hard, and that's some good coffee. So, that being said, it is 1 o'clock. And I don't know how much longer I'll go on the live. I'm not sure how long have I been on the live. Got a whole 6 people in here. I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm getting close to 2K subscribers. Maybe I'll buy more than one plane. If you feel up to it, it's no obligation. I never ask anybody to do it. I put it up there just in case people are like, hey, this is cool, I want to help. And if you guys go, it's like, you're under no obligation. I'm not going to think any less of anybody for not doing it. But it does help. It does help me when it comes to purchasing filaments and motors and things like that, where I can keep going. And this is kind of why I'm in sort of a lull at this point, because I am going to buy the motor again, but I'll just lay it out there. I'll be honest with you. With what I get from the VA, basically I pay my rent. I have to go smog the car. Don't have to pay for registration because the VA is taking care of that. I've got a smog car, and then I can go get my plates, and then by the time I pay my rent, which is almost all of my vet benefits, and pay my phone bill, I'm pretty much dead in the water. So anything I get, I put right back into my projects. If somebody donates, if somebody sends money through, whether they're doing it through my Patreon, whether they're doing it through Buy Me a Coffee, however they decide to do it. And I know at one point I'll get to a point in my watch hours where I can actually have memberships and do super chats and things like that. I'm sure those will go pretty damn slow in the beginning, but that's okay. Anything I make goes back in it. If I make $20, I'm gonna end up getting like a roll of filament if I need it, so I can keep going, so I can keep bringing you guys content of the stuff that I'm creating. And in the interim, we'll talk about the projects. We'll talk about, just life in general, chat, have a good time, hang out, and just chill. And then that's what I'll do. So, and of course, I'm going to include the tilapia farm that I'm doing out there because, I'm starting a garden with the wife. She wants to grow some vegetables. I'm totally down with that because, I don't eat fast food or anything else. I want to eat healthier, but I love Twinkies. I can't help it. Twinkies, man. They've been around as long as I have, and it's like the best junk food in the world. And if I had a Twinkie from my childhood sitting right in front of me, it would still be good. So, what can I say, right? Hey man, I appreciate it. Like I said, you're not under any obligation. I put the link out there for people who do want to support the channel. And every bit of it goes right back into the channel. Because basically everything I get covers pretty much all of my expenses, and then I'm left with nothing. So And I'm not talking broke like I've got a savings account and I can't afford to spend anymore. I'm like, I've got a change dish in front of my keyboard. That kind of broke. Okay. But I'm happy. And that's what matters. I just want to keep bringing you guys content. And I want to keep building cool new stuff. And if you guys got ideas for stuff you want to see built, and you don't have a 3D printer or you don't have the motors or whatnot, and you're like, man, I'd love to see this, I'll do it. I'll get into Fusion, I'll design it up. I'll even show it to you and be like, hey, is this what you were thinking about? And you go, hey, that's it right there. And then we'll print it up and fly it, have some fun. But that's what I want to do, is I want to make this a community where everyone can come together. They can speak their mind, even against my political views I was ranting about earlier. That's totally fine. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. That's why this is a free country. And that's why we're trying to keep it that way. But this is what it's all about. It's all about the community. It's all about the hobby. It's all about having fun. Everybody, you go to work, you come home every day, you're tired. You're paying taxes on your wages. You're paying taxes to cash your check. You're paying taxes for your food. You might as well at least be able to come home and say, you know what? Let's get on DPC and see if he's doing some fun stuff and relax, or spend time with your family. Just make sure you're watching my channel. Sorry, that was a bit aggressive, but I apologize. I don't actually apologize. Watch my channel or else. So, yeah, that's the whole point. I don't spend any money that I get on myself. It's really just to put back into this, because this is for me. This is something I want to do in my retirement. This is something I want to do for you guys in my retirement. And plus, it's going to eventually lead into something that I am creating that will be the coolest thing that anyone has ever seen. And then everyone's going to want one. and when we get to that point, and I know I've mentioned it a few times, but when we get to that point, you guys will see. Well, Jason, I appreciate you. Or is it Jackson? I'm sorry. Like I said, bifocals. If you're already gone, sorry I missed that chat. But thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. You're always welcome. Down to 4 viewers. Must pissed off YouTube. That earlier rant, huh? That shows you right there. You start calling somebody out and they start trying to shut you down. That's what they do, right? I was like all hopeful. I was like, it's my birthday. Maybe a whole bunch of people will show up. No. They didn't. But that's all right. That's all right. Yeah, the people on the crew that are the closest to me right now, they like what I'm doing. I'm going to keep doing it. So, and let's just have fun. That's what it's all about, right? Social media gets used for so many other untoward things. I'd like to bring some kind of normalcy and some fun and a hobby back to the back to the internet, so that we can enjoy it. Because there's a lot of people out there that are doing a lot bigger planes, but they're trying to like, man builds the biggest airplane in the world, RC airplane. He's sitting on top of it and everything. And I'm happy for him. I really am. But when you start out already having a whole bunch of money, sure, you can do that stuff. You can afford to drop 10 grand on a couple of Stubler motors, but that's not what I'm doing. I'm building my own motors. And while I'm happy that they're doing well and that they're making these big planes, it's just, that's not what I'm going for. It's just, this is sort of just a kind of like a down home hobby, where we're working on whatever it is that makes us happy. And if you guys have suggestions on what you want to see done, I'm happy to do it as soon as I'm done with whatever project I'm on. So we all miss Mark Buck. We all do. I actually hope he's doing well. I kind of hope I got through to him. I really do. Because he came in trolling like a crazy person, and then he called me the BTK killer or something like that. I didn't even know who that was. Yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, I hope Mark's doing all right. I wish nothing for the best for him and everyone like him who may be delusional or so far left that they don't know that they're just going in circles. Because if you keep going left, you're just going to end up where you started. It's called a circle. Oh, that's too funny. Yeah, that's the point, right? Nobody can start like they're making these huge planes, but this guy's got a runway out in front of his house, for stuff like that. He made this huge C-130, and it's a beautiful plane. But I mean, the battery is like bigger than one you put in your car and stuff like that. And while that's great and everything, I'm going for something a little bit more energy efficient that can produce close to, if not the same amount of thrust. And that's so that it puts it within the realm of possibility for anybody else who goes, I like that turbine. It's all 3D printed. The STLs are going to be out. You guys can do it yourself with off-the-shelf components from Amazon. That's why I'm doing this. Okay, I have an end goal for a much larger project that will require, me getting a TIG welder and some aircraft grade aluminum. But when it comes to this part of it, I want people to go, I like that turbine. It works. I know the components because he's already showed us. It's proven. He's supplying us with the STLs. I'm going to build that and put in like an RC jet or something like that, or make my own drone out of it or something. I'm not going to keep all this stuff to myself. Once it's perfected, I'm going to give it to you guys because you're the ones that support me. And that's the whole point. You support me. I do what I do, and then I give it all back to you. You get the STLs, your 3D print and stuff, and you're making cool new projects. You're improvising what I've made to make something new, and I encourage that. I'm not hiding any of my stuff, a couple of small things, but just because they're not done yet, and they're not to a stage where I can show them where anyone's going to care. So, 25. I saw the vids. Yeah, it's a big plane. It's huge. And I'm like thinking to myself, are you building something you can fly in, or is it just a big RC plane? I mean, I'm into flying the bigger planes. I have much more luck flying the bigger planes, but there comes a point to where it's no longer scale. I mean, if you've got to get FAA clearance to fly your RC plane, it's just, that's a little over the top. But what are you going to do, right? I'm trying to make sort of that mid in between where it's not this tiny whoop that's zipping between bricks, but it's not too big to where you have to have, an aviation license to even fly it. Just some fun stuff that we can all do, and then share it with the rest of you. So that's, yeah, I mean, and the one plane that I plan on doing is going to be a little bit of a larger plane, but that's for the purposes of going Mach 1 with these engines. I know everyone's going to say that sounds crazy, that's impractical. But I can tell you from my life experience, all of those things that people have told me that I try, that it'll never work, and then it works, and they have nothing to say afterwards. Um, that's the whole reason why I do it. Because all you gotta do is tell me that won't work, and I'll be like, watch me, watch me, watch me nail that shit. Because I'm gonna, you tell me twice it ain't gonna happen. Tell me over and over again that's not gonna happen. Tell me it's impractical and you would never do it. You know, because I got a lot of that when I was doing the Shrike drone. They're like, "This is impractical. It's a big drone." And he's like, "What size battery are you using to run it?" I told you, I could use that battery to run my entire fleet. I'm like, "What? You got mosquito drones or something? It's a 6,000 milliamp battery." They're like, "Yeah, that could power my whole fleet." I'm like, "Dude, who cares? More power to you." Um, they tell me. Then he told me my engine. Oh my gosh, the insults he made on the engineering and the that I did on the Shrike. Uh, he was like making fun of it and stuff like that. So I'm like, well, you know, let me go check this guy out and see what he's about. See if he's legit. See if he knows something I don't know. Maybe he's got some constructive criticism he can give me next time instead of insults. And all he ended up being was some dude in a garage with a bunch of grainy videos playing drums. Had nothing to do with drones. I mean, he might have had one or two drones, but I guess he crashed pretty much all of them when he flew them. So I love it when they jump in with the expertise that they found in the Cracker Jack box. You know what I mean? So yeah, Buck misses his mark. Oh yeah, Mark. But well, everyone, I don't have a huge party that I'm gonna have for my birthday or anything like that. It's just gonna be me and the family, and they're gonna make me a couple of cupcakes or a cake or something. I don't know. I don't know what the plans are, but basically, I'm gonna get to that, and then when the PETG gets here, I will. I don't know if you guys want time lapses of the prints or if you want to watch them print, but you know, let me know, and I'll do it. Either way, you'll see the process. I'm gonna, even if it's time lapse, um, you'll see the print, and then I'll put everything together on video. Put together a video of assembling the whole thing, and then praying that the PID is okay, and then giving it a shot. Once one of my subscribers, Wow That Flies, he's got some serious like PID programming experience. He knows what he's talking about because he's taught me a few things. And that's what I love about the community. I don't know everything. Um, well, I do, but I just have most of it written down and I forgot where I put it. But the point is, he's got information. This is what I'm talking about. Is when, as a community, is that we pull together, and it's like if I'm missing something, and he goes, "Oh, I know why that's doing that." I'm not going to be like, "You don't know what you're talking about." I do. I'm going to say, "Okay, I'm going to give that a shot." And if it works, it works, and then we've solved the problem. And as a community, we figured it out, and now we have this really cool new thing. And then I can put out all the STLs and the components, and everyone can do the same thing. You know, that's what it's all about. Just having fun, being a family, and all this. And that's what it's all about. Unless you're woke, and then I don't know what to do with you, except put you in the corner. But everyone's, you know, we're all human beings. We all make mistakes, but we're all entitled to our opinions, and we're all entitled to the same salvation that we've been offered by our God. And interesting how the country was founded under that religion. And it seems to be one of the only books that's, you know, old enough to be historically accurate, since they're finding historical evidence and stuff about Christ and everything, which I don't need any other evidence than I already have. But um, he lives, so that's all there is to it. I wouldn't be here if he was if he wasn't. I'll tell you that right now. So, with that being said, Lord, forgive me for the cursing I did earlier. It's just an old army habit. But you gotta rant sometimes, right? Power fluctuation. All right. Um, anyway, love you all. God bless each and every one of you. And thank you for all your support, everything you do. And don't worry about anything, because everything, no matter what it is, will work itself out. You're next. You're next too. And it's because this keeps me going right here. Bitter coffee for bitter people. Get yours today, or I'm going to find you and I'm going to make you buy it. Do you understand? I'm just messing with you. That's get yourself some of that right there, man. Link to it in the bio. breakfastinbread.store. Get yourself some bitter coffee. Be the bitter person. Get yourself some bitter coffee. Not better. Be the bitter person and get yourself some bitter freaking coffee. Now. With all that, I say I love you all, and I will see you again soon. I'm going to go enjoy my birthday right now. I don't drink, so I won't enjoy it that much. But the point is, I'll enjoy it because I'm with family. So I love you all because you are also my family. And I thank you all for being here. You have a wonderful day. And I will see you when we start printing the Dildrone. So from everyone here at DPC, you have a great day.